You keep chasing happiness, but it feels like no matter what you achieve, it slips away. You keep wondering, why is happiness so hard to hold on to? If that sounds like you, this video is for you. I'm going to share with you a lot of science and data about myths of happiness. Why are we so bad at predicting what makes us happy? And finally, how can you be happier using simple science? Studies have shown that humans are extremely bad at predicting what makes us happy. Think about it. You thought that high score or rank would make you happy. You thought that dream home, job, or car would make you happy. You thought getting married or having children would make you happy. But what happened? You got used to that home or job. Your mind started looking for the next milestone. Marriage and kids bring beautiful moments, but let's be honest, most of the time your mind is occupied with problems and responsibilities. It's not your fault. We are wired that way. But then the question is, how can we be happier? And the answer is by understanding its science and becoming aware. Before we start with the science, I want to share something with you. Your emotional triggers can deeply affect your happiness. That one comment from your boss, relative, or partner can trigger you. You become emotional and you spend the whole day overthinking. That's why it's important to heal those triggers and learn how to feel safe with your emotions. I'll be teaching you exactly how to do this step by step in my bootcamp Triggers to Triumph. The live batch is happening from September 10th. Join me inside if you're looking to do the deeper work. All the details are in the description. Okay, let's talk about what we think makes us happy versus what the data shows. I've taken all this data from this course called The Science of Well-Being. It's on Coursera. It's by Yale University. It's completely free. I'll give the link in the description. You can check it out if you're interested. Let's talk about 4 myths about what we think makes us happy. Myth 1, money makes us happy. But the truth may be a little, but only to a certain point. After an income of $75,000 a year, your happiness is shown to reach a threshold and money doesn't make you really happier. In fact, the shocking truth is in 1940s, the happiness score was 7.5 out of 10. But in 2000s, even though people were wealthier, the happiness score dropped to 7.3. If you're curious why, the next data will give you a clue. In 1967, 42% of people thought being well off was important, and 86% thought having a meaningful purpose was important. But in 2005, 72% of people thought being well off was important, but only 42% thought having a meaningful purpose was important. So over time, the importance of money went up, while the importance of meaning went down, and the happiness score also went down. Myth 2, having awesome stuff makes us happier. A bungalow, new car, that new gadget. But the truth is, they make us excited and happy only for some time. Then your mind gets used to it and your happiness levels come back to the baseline. Myth 3 is marriage or true love makes you happier. Here is what the data shows. It's true for 1 to 2 years. Married people are happier than unmarried people. But after that, the happiness levels are equal. This reminds me of the fact that people are so happy in the initial years of their marriage and then they start complaining and start making jokes about how difficult marriage is. The final myth is having a perfect body, face, or even good grades makes us happier. The truth is we expect these things to completely change our happiness, but in reality, they don't make us as happier as we think they will. So why are our predictions so bad? It comes down to 4 annoying features of the mind. Comparative thinking. Our mind doesn't always think in absolutes. It always compares. Do you know that bronze medal winners are happier than silver medal winners? Why? Because for a silver medal winner, the comparison is the gold he has missed. But for a bronze medal winner, they're happy that they just got a medal and they didn't miss it completely. So you see how the comparison works in our mind. Second annoying feature is hedonic adaptation. Our minds get used to stuff really fast. The new house or job starts feeling normal after some time and the mind craves the next thing. Imagine you buy the latest iPhone, but after a month, it's just another phone and you start looking for that next upgrade. Third annoying feature is impact bias. We tend to overestimate how big of an impact something will have and how long it will last. Say you get that dream job. You think I'll be happy forever. But slowly, office politics, work stress, deadlines start to kick in and it doesn't feel like forever happiness. And the last annoying feature of the mind is focalism. We focus only on that one thing, forgetting hundreds of other things that contribute to our daily happiness. Think about a breakup. In that moment, you feel like you'll be never happy again because you're only focusing on that. But in reality, all other aspects of your life, your friends, your hobbies, everything else that used to make you happy are still there, but you're forgetting to notice them. So, then what actually makes us happier according to science? Here are 5 practices that are shown to make you happy. A job that feels like calling. Yes, because we spend most of our time at work, it's really important that you love your work, and when that job is your calling, it increases your happiness. Now I understand you may not know what's your calling, but finding that out is really helpful for your happiness. Second, more flow state. Flow state is that state where you're fully focused, you're enjoying the task, and you lose track of time. This can happen when you're working on something really important to you that you really like, pursuing a hobby that you really like, spending time with your family. This state has been shown to be great for your brain and long term happiness. Third is social connection. Humans are wired for connection. Now I get the concern of introverts. I am an introvert too, but it is shown that having just really few close ties, connecting with a stranger or sharing your experience with someone, even the random acts of kindness boost your happiness. Fourth practice is mind control. When your mind wanders away from the present moment, from the task that you are doing, it usually goes to past, future events and other people. This activates a network in your brain called the default network, which is linked to unhappiness. Meditation is a great tool to control this mind wandering. If you have noticed, when you get triggered, your mind wanders a lot. It's very difficult to control the mind. It keeps going to the same situation again and again. You replay it in your head. So in our bootcamp, we are going deeper into this, how to heal this pattern and how to break this pattern to become calmer. If this interests you, all the details are in the description. Check it out. The final practice for happiness is healthy practices. Yes, simple but powerful. Regular exercise, good sleep, healthy eating habits, all these basics are proven to boost your mood and overall well-being. So when you think that happiness is in that next job, car, or next milestone, gently remind yourself where your actual happiness is. It's in your hands. So tell me, which one are you going to practice today? Comment below and let me know. And if you found value in this video, make sure you're subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.